It's crazy how many things you're able to improve and really are intentional about growing yourself. So those 9 things really could make you much better communicator in a very short period of time if you Today is 435th day that I'm here to share lessons I learned and I'm learning. I hope those lessons support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Yesterday I shared that 6 skills that man needs to have, must have to be high value, and communication was one of the main key skills. So today we'll share 9 things that you're supposed to do to be great at communication, because if you want to improve it, you need to understand what you need to work on. So today we'll share 9 things that you need to work on to really improve your communication skills. So first thing is that you need to practice active listening. Now that means what it means, practice active listening. So that means when you sit down in front of someone, so that means you need to listen and try to understand, fully understand, because a lot of times people listen not to understand, but listen to what they want to say, because there's a huge difference between waiting for a minute and we'll be able to really interrupt and start saying what you want to say. But if you start listening, sometimes you will forget what you wanted to say, but you will be more connected because you're able to connect with the person and ask follow-up question that really allow to show that other person that you really are listening actively. Second thing is stay present. That is very important. So that means you want to have a conversation with a person, and now that means you need to be engaged in that conversation, because a lot of times people have a conversation while they still think about the job, they think about some kind of problems, they think about the vacations. It could be anything. So it means, do you think about vacation? Do you think about something else? Do you think about friends when you have a conversation with a person? Or do you fully engage the other person? Because when you really want to be great at communication, you want to understand that you need to be present with that person and not think about anything else. Third is use body language. That means when you have a conversation with a person, you can like nod, you're able to smile, you're able to do eye contact. There's a lot of body language things that you're able to do to emphasize a message. That means a person something shares that you really enjoy, so of course you're able to nod. If you don't like, maybe you can do other things. And of course, when you want to have that great communication, you want to pull your back, shoulders, and really be present with the body and with the mind to make sure that you have great communication. Number 4 is avoid distractions, and I think that is very, very essential. So that means that when you go to a dinner with someone, do you have your phone on the table, or do you put your phone away and you put snooze and no distractions? Because you want to make sure that when you have a conversation, there is no distraction, no phones, no TVs, no nothing, and fully engage in that person, because a lot of times people get distracted by messages. But what I learned, and Simon Sinek has shared probably the best about it, that when you have the phone in your hand or in the pocket and you take out, you show that the conversation that you have now presently is not as important as someone else in that phone. It could be that some extreme cases that something is really important and you allowed that person to deal with it, but when you come back in the conversation, you need to be exactly fully present. Number 5 is use appropriate language. So what that means? It means that you need to understand what is your audience, because you're not able to speak exactly in front of professors, like group of professors, exactly how you speak in front of group of kids. There is a proper language, because some words those kids are not able to understand. So that means maybe you're able to adjust your way of speaking, because you need to make sure that you understand who is your audience, and are able to adjust a little bit the way how you speak to make sure that it best fits that audience. Number 6 is practice empathy, and that is important. For example, when someone is sharing their story, that means you need to understand and trying to put yourself in their shoes to understand what they're feeling and really make sure that they feel that they are heard. Because if you trying to understand the other person from your perspective, it might be that you will never understand, because it might be that you are much higher mountain, you're able to see much more. So it means you will not understand their perspective if they're at the lower point of the mountains. So you're trying to imagine what you potentially could see if you could be in their spot. So putting yourself in their shoes. Number 7 is be concise. That means that you, of course, you don't want to ramble. You want to share your perspectives and thoughts in a concise way. That make sure that you do not use too much words, and you really make sure that they understand your message. And you don't need to use very complex sentences. You just use simple words to make sure that they understand what you're saying. Number 8 is avoid filler words. I think that a lot of times people have a lot of filler words, ums, like, so, you know. There's a lot of people use different kind of words, and sometimes you don't think that is a filler word, but if you repeat one word constantly and very often, most likely it could be that you use that word only as a filler. So you just need to find those words and really stop using them. And the last one, and probably this one, needs to be always in every single thing that you do. Like, you need to get feedback. So that means you communicate with someone and ask, how did they do? How much you improved? Because when you're improving and you see that there is some improvements, you're able to be much more appreciative of your growth, and you're able to grow even more. And people are able to say what you're working, what is good, what's not that good, and you start working on those things. It's crazy how many things you're able to improve and really are intentional about growing yourself. So those 9 things really could make you much better communicator in a very short period of time if you implement them well. I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.